Welcome to the WIDD Golf Podcast, and today I have a very special guest, the one and only Mr. Anton Du Beke.
I feel like there should be a fanfare.
There should be.
Some sort of fanfare. Dun, 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 dun. Something, I'll do it myself, I don't mind. And, but I tell you what, I'm glad I'm here. I'm enormously glad I'm here because I'm so thirsty. And I'm gasping for something to drink. And I wonder if you have anything.
Honestly, I don't know where we could actually hold it.
I am.
If you want some of this MGP Nutrition water,
Oh.
they've kindly sponsored this podcast.
No.
So if you'd like to quench your thirst.
Well, I should take you up on that offer.
There's an array of flavours.
There's an array of flavours.
I like the apple personally.
Do you?
Yeah, it's nice.
Good for your teeth.
It's good for my teeth. Yeah, it's good.
Good apple, that's good for your teeth.
Sorry, it's good for your teeth.
Grown up.
But thank you for being here, Anton. We've just filmed an amazing video, so if you haven't seen that, go and check it out.
Watch it.
It's very good. We played some good golf, didn't we?
I'd like to call it entertaining and instructional.
Yeah.
Well, there was one particular bit, I won't spoil it, but where I was going to take a particular club for a chip, and then you told me what you were going to do, and
Yes.
then I elected to do the same sort of thing. And it went rather well.
And there was a lovely moment where we had differing opinions about a shot, and you chose one way. I went a bit old school, you went a bit modern, and it all turned out rather well.
It turned out really good. Yeah, so if you haven't seen that video, make sure to go and check it out.
Have a look-see.
But obviously, Anton is a keen golfer. You're a keen golfer. Obviously, I'm obsessed with it, as you know.
It's a funny old game, isn't it, for that?
It's just, I just
You
love
do
it
just
so much.
it is. Once you get, I was bitten by the bug many years ago.
Yeah.
And have loved it ever since. And as have you. I suspect from the moment you started.
Pretty much. I mean, for me, like I started when I was 7. So, like, Dad was obviously a pro footballer and used to, every time he'd finish training after playing in the Premier League, he'd go around to the green and chip and putt. So he was off sort of your handicap back in the day. But I don't really remember the lessons I had because I was kind of just obsessed with football as a kid.
Right.
So then, after doing the cruise ships and Burn the Floor and all coming around, like now I'm back in London, living in London, I can actually go, right, okay, I can play golf now, like regularly. So I had a massive sort of like 10, 15 year period through comps where you just don't have any time to play.
Time to play.
But now we've got time to play and it's just so fun.
Do you like lessons? Do you have lessons?
Do you know what? I probably don't have enough lessons. I've only had maybe sort of 3 or 4 lessons in my life, really.
Because it's very interesting for people who are going to watch this and probably have golf lessons up. As dancers, when we had lots and lots of lessons. We spent our life having lessons.
We did.
But not like the lessons that the pros get. They do a bit of lesson and they go away. And we have lessons every week. Lots of lessons. But we also have multiple teachers, which is something that the golfers don't have.
Yes.
So we would have, I don't know, 3 or 4 teachers, and we'd have a lesson. We might have 4 lessons in a week from 4 different teachers.
Yeah.
And you would think that would be confusing, but it's actually really helpful because you get a differing perspective. Invariably, it's similar language, but it's in a different way, so things work better for you. And I've wondered about that in golf over the years.
Yeah.
That people don't have multiple teachers, and they probably feel like it's not going to be confusing language, maybe.
Yeah.
And confusing ideologies.
Do you have multiple teachers and do you have multiple coaches that you go to? Or
No, I do. I have. Well, there's 2
do you
guys
dip
that
in and out, right?
Yeah, I don't have many lessons, but Simon Holmes, as we know from Sky, is a brilliant coach, and he's coached great players, major champions from the men's game and the ladies' women's game. And I do some stuff with him, but I also have there's a guy called Tom Godwin down at Wentworth, who's a pro there, who I have lessons from him as well. We play a lot of golf together as well, and he's brilliant. And we talk about the correlation between golf and dancing a lot, and the motion and the the science of the sort of physics. The thing you can't do with golf and dancing is you can't change the physics.
Nope.
The physics is the physics, and it's interesting to understand how the 2 worlds collide.
Because I remember having lessons as a kid, dance lessons, and someone saying to me, because I didn't really play golf when I was learning to dance. Like I remember my teacher saying to me, "Natural, it's your throwaway overswing."
Yeah.
That beautiful sort of AE frame that we do when we do a waltz or a foxtrot or something is like a golf swing.
Yeah.
So it's like just a bit lower.
Yeah.
And I remember sort of thinking, dancers would probably make good golfers because we kind of know what we're doing with our body and we can connect with our body. So I remember when I had the lessons with Dan Grieve, and he sort of said, show me a couple of chips. I showed him a couple of chips. And then he said, well, do this and do this. I sort of just did it. And he went, Well, that was quick. I think because as dancers, we kind of like have that kind of connection with our body. We can kind of go, okay, if you want me to kind of exaggerate something, I can exaggerate it a lot, but then it sometimes goes the other way. But I guess it's kind of it's a help and a hindrance really, because like when you like with the irons, I'm drawing them a lot at the moment because I'm trying to get that feel, and then it's usually just a big hook.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things you just can't master golf, can you really?
Well, it's a bit like dancing in that regard. It's not a game of perfection. It's not.
No.
You as a dancer, but you're always striving for more dynamic, more musicality, more movement. If that's what you're after. And golf's the same. You can't perfect golf. You hit a perfect drive down the fairway. You want to hit it maybe further. Mm-hmm. You want to draw it more. You want to draw it. You want to hit it higher. You want to hit it lower. So there's so much about golf, and that it's so similar to dancing.
Well, give me one of your. Well, okay, here's a good question. I want to know your answer, because I know you remember at Wentworth.
Yeah.
And you played in some amazing places.
Yeah.
What would be your? Okay, I'll ask you this first. What's your favourite course that you've played?
Well, gosh, I love all the courses at Wentworth. I mean, it's my sort of happy place. So I'm happy. If you said to me that's the only place you're ever going to play golf again, I'd be absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Around the British Isles, I tell you what is a fabulous place. Kings Barnes. Have you ever played Kings Barnes?
I haven't played it.
I love links golf.
Yeah.
And ironically, actually probably not ironically, just interestingly, would have sufficed. I've played my best golf on links golf courses.
Really?
Because I don't hit the ball toweringly high.
No.
So I have a game sort of a bit more conducive to links golf than to inland golf. Or sort of tree-lined golf courses where you have to hit the ball high,
far, yeah.
And far. I don't hit the ball far either. So you can bound on a links course. I love a bit of bound. And Kings Barnes is beautiful. I love, but Turnberry, I love.
You played Turnberry?
Turnberry, I've played it, and if you've played it since the changes, the changes feel like they've been there 100 years.
Really?
They're extraordinary golf courses. I love all those sort of Scottish links golf courses. Kings Barnes is beautiful because you get to see the sea from every hole. And I think if you're playing links, you can be on a links golf course, but you feel like you want to be able to see the sea.
Yeah.
Pebble Beach I played a number of years ago, which was extraordinary. I played with a couple of people who have got the best job in the whole wide world.
Really?
We were last tee off for the day, so my wife and I were over there. We were doing the drive down from San Fran down to LA, and we were driving. We stopped into Monterey, and we gave them a call. Can I have a round of golf, please? Yeah, fine. We've only got one tee time. It's the last one of the day. You might not get round. Do I get a discount? No. Fine. Thanks very much.
Thanks very much.
Yeah. Take it or leave it. All right. Well, I suppose I'll take it. So this is before our children were born. So they'll be 8 next month. So we're going back about maybe 9 or 10 years. And all right, we'll take it. We'll see if we can get round quick. Because I played on my own, my wife walked with me. I played with this other couple, who were a couple of a certain age, both retired, but they had this new job, and they were adjudicators of golf courses for Golf Digest, and they were there to help rank the top 100 golf courses in America.
What a job!
Certainly of that side of America.
I mean, what more do you want?
I mean, he was about a 6 or 7 handicapper. She was a 12 or 14, if I remember rightly, and they just played Poppy Hills in the morning.
Oh wow!
All sort of gratis. They say thank you very much, come along.
Yeah.
And they get all, how would you like a cup of tea? Would you like to sit down and have some lunch? How's the young girls? Oh, tremendous. They were very nice. And then they go and play, and then they whiz down to Pebble Beach, and we played about, I don't know, it must be about 2 o'clock or something. We played, and we played the last hole in almost darkness.
Yeah.
And I played it perfectly. Actually, it turns out I played better with the lights off. And so I remember I putted by the lights of the clubhouse restaurant, and in the club they were shining out onto the last, and I could just make the putt on the last.
So you're looking at where you've just come from.
Yeah. Amazing. And so that was incredible. And I didn't think you saw the sea as often as you did on Pebble Beach for some reason, but you see it much more often than you think you do. That was incredible. But I do, those. I mean, I've been lucky enough to play some great courses. Yeah, I still think my happy place is Wentworth.
Wentworth, it's kind of home to you, isn't it? Really,
It's amazing.
How long have you been there now?
10, 11 years.
So it's a great
10,
place.
12 years.
Obviously, we played it with Justin, obviously on the channel. It was a bit. I think we're a bit. I was saying to you before, we're a little bit shaky when we went round with Justin. We were sort of in awe of him, just looking.
He is. These guys. I've been lucky enough to play in a number of pro-ams with some great players. I played with Tyrrell Hatton once on a pro-am day, and they hit these shots that you go, yeah, okay.
And you go, I can do that.
I can't.
No, but then they hit the one you go, I can't do that.
Yeah. You go down and you go, you hit it down the middle of the fairway, and you go, so I'm just probably about 80 yards behind you, but it's fine, still in the middle.
Yeah.
And then they hit a shot that you hit this. I mean, anybody who knows this hole, the third hole on the West Course at Wentworth, there's some bunkers on the right hand side, and he ended up in a bunker off the tee. And the green is slightly elevated, and there are bunkers left and right. That's right. And the flag was perched on a little shelf behind the left hand bunker, probably about 5 yards on, something like that. And it's an area because after that it slopes down into the other part.
Yeah.
And he hit this sort of 8-iron or something out of this fairway bunker. If I hit an 8-iron out of that fairway bunker, I'd have had to have hit another 8-iron to have made the green. Even if I'd smoked it, it's still, I'm hitting sort of 5 woods from that distance.
Yeah.
And he's hit this 8-iron to 1.5 feet. Off it goes like that. And boom. And it's moments like that where you go, yeah, okay. I can't. I don't care what I've ever thought about me and golf.
Yeah.
Now I've seen that, I realise it's not a game of which I could ever have been any good at.
No. It's the only way I can kind of relate to their feeling is when we do Strictly and the celebs go, yeah, but I'm trying to do that. But but I can't.
It's a bit similar when the celebrities watch the pros do a group number of some sort.
Yeah.
Or if there's a turn come on and does a song, and then a couple of pros come out and dance, and then they sort of rev it up and dance properly.
Yeah.
Then everyone goes, oh, I see. Oh, right. That's what it. Is that what it? That was what it was meant to look like. Yes.
Yeah.
Fine. Yeah, I wasn't doing that, was I? No. But it's fine. But keep going. You're doing well.
Yeah.
So it is it's a different. Yeah.
It's very different. But obviously, those are the courses you've played, and the ones that you've. What are the ones that you haven't played?
Well, many. But
bucket lists.
I mean, we're all fancy a bit of Augusta, don't we?
I think that's the one.
As anybody who's ever played golf and is a golf fan, like we are, I think I'm not sure if it's because you can't get on it.
That's sort of the prestige of it, isn't it? You can't get on it.
And I'm not even sure we'd want to play it without it being tournament conditions.
Right.
Really. And they shut it for half the year, actually. So I think what we'd like to do, and I know, and Sarah Stoke, you mentioned her earlier, who I do the podcast with, she played it on the Monday after the Masters. Because when all the broadcasting teams are out there, there is like a ballot for somebody from the teams to go and play on the Monday. That's the moment you want to play it. I think if I could, I'd like to get in that ballot, get the lucky, like Willy Wonka's golden ticket, and go and play Augusta National on the Monday after the final round. So it feels like the tournament conditions. The greens are still as quick-ish. But they've grown overnight, haven't been cut. But the stands are still up. That's the moment.
That's when you'd want to play it.
Yeah.
We had an interesting thing because I think there's a thing with amateurs because bearing in mind, like I play with my brother and my dad and like a few other kind of your standard amateur golfers, 18 handicappers, whatever. And I think there was a stat that someone has come up with somewhere, and we put it to Justin, and it was quite an interesting stat. We said, if you put your bog standard 18 handicapper on the green at Augusta, he still wouldn't. She wouldn't be able to beat the pros still if they were starting them the furthest point away on every single green because the greens are so crazy.
I heard that not dissimilar to that. If you had the categories of handicap, so category 1, so if you had 4 players from different categories in a handicap, and you put them all on the edge of the green, and on all the greens, and you putted out, they would have gone round in an average score of 72.
Crikey, man.
Shots.
As a
4. So, I mean, or probably individually. I can't remember what it was entirely, but it's sort of that difficult in those conditions.
Yeah,
it's that difficult. Some of the putts you could 4-putt for fun.
Yeah,
I mean, you look at, I'm trying to think of one. I mean, 5. hole number 5 at Augusta has become so difficult. It's
So difficult.
So long. So long.
Just keep moving it back and back and back.
It's the next place. It's back in some Ohio.
Yeah.
It's so far back, and it's a par 4.
Yeah.
But then they are the best golfers in the world. It's supposed to be the toughest test because they are the most elite. That's it. It's as good as it is.
Yeah.
They're the best. So it's supposed to be the most difficult. But that green, for example, 5.
It's just impossible. Yeah. It's like crazy golf.
Putt off the green.
Yeah. And you just touch it and it
Right.
goes. Yeah.
Christ, that's never going to stop. 16. I mean, you just stand at the bottom, whack it up the hill, and just wait for it to come back to you.
My gosh.
I mean, it's ridiculous. But then we loved Augusta. Is one of those things that we all. You'll be like me. I've watched it a lot longer than you, but it's what we wait for, isn't it?
Yeah.
We wait for Augusta to come round, and we can't wait to sit there in front of the television.
I can't wait. Have you been to it?
I went in 2012.
You went to watch, right?
Yeah, I went for 2 days. I went for the Friday and the Sunday.
No phones, right?
No running.
No running, no phones.
We were by the 11th tee, and it's a bank there, 11th tee. Was it 11th green? 10th, might be 10th green, 11th tee, something like that.
Yeah,
so we're there, and there's a bank, right? And we're all sat there on the bank, like that. Some fella lay back like on the grass, waiting for somebody to come through, like his girlfriend or his pal or something. And we're lying there like that. Some steward came over to him. "You all right, sir?" He said, "No, yeah, I'm fine. Just wait." He said, "Well, he's just concerned that you might be unwell or passed out or something. If you'd like to sit up, it'd be marvellous."
So you've stand up, sit up straight.
It's already on. Yes, marvellous.
Because I've heard from the people that have gone to watch it that it's because you've got no phone and because you've just got no choice but to just watch it, it makes the experience so much better. Because we're in this world of now where everyone's like this, watching Tiger play or whoever, it just makes
and
it
there's
that
a place,
more.
like all these things, there's a place for that, but then there's also a place for the other. I like it that it's not everything's the same. So, there is a place for no phones, let's just watch the golf.
Yeah.
Nobody's on the fairways, apart from the caddy and the player. No scorers, no cameramen. I mean, you walk down literally any tournament, and the Open do this as well, that you look back up a fairway with the players walking down, there's this army of people walking down the fairway.
Like when Tiger was going to win it again in...
that was the crowd.
Sea of people.
That was sea of people. But these are all people inside the ropes, with the cameramen, scorers, somebody else. There must be half a dozen people wandering down a fairway. No.
You don't touch it.
At Augusta, it's the player and the caddy.
That's it. There's no one, steady cam behind or...
None of these blokes on
buggies.
It's just the players. And there's a sort of sanctity about that.
It's beautiful.
A tranquility about that. A sort of pureness about it. And the crowd sit and watch, and you have a chair, you buy a little folding chair, you put it down in your place, you plonk it down, you have a watch, you get up and you walk away, leave your chair there.
Right.
Somebody sees your chair, they'll sit down like that.
Yeah.
You come back to your chair, you go, "That's my chair. Oh, sorry." And they get up. But you know that if you leave your chair, somebody will sit in it.
Yeah.
And then when you leave, you come back to it, somebody will go, "Oh, okay, fair enough," and off you go.
Yeah.
And so there's
respect.
It's respectful, and it's sort of as it should be. There's a place for the waste management, for 50,000 people getting annihilated and all that sort of stuff, and that's fun. I mean, that's fun.
Yeah.
But we don't want that every week.
No.
So you have lots of different things, and it makes it fun.
I think that's the point, and that's the thing with your podcast as well. Is like obviously you talk a lot about making golf fun, and I think that's important, especially in our day and age. Like I'm seeing as a fairly young fella, still the right side of 30, that a lot of young people are getting into golf now. Whereas before it would be seen as a very sort of forgive the term, like an old man's sport.
But that was the thing as well, man's sport. It was very male dominated. Yeah, and what Sarah and I are doing on our podcast is we're taking a lighter side look at golf, but also talking about things like getting more ladies into golf, more women into golf, more girls into golf, more boys and children into golf, and sort of making it, talk about accessibility of golf, accessible in a sort of financial way. I mean, anybody can bowl up. I mean, you've got to make it accessible. Anybody can bowl up to a golf course.
Yeah.
Pay and play and just pays your money.
Yeah.
So it's not inaccessible in that regard.
No.
But it is expensive.
It is expensive.
We need to find a way, because what I do find as well, and I find it interesting. I'm not sure what golf manufacturers do with their old gear.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they melt it down and start again, or the stuff they don't sell, or the stuff they get back, and second-hand gear and stuff like that. but there's a huge market for that, and I think they should do. I think there could be a thought. I don't know, I'm just thinking off the top of my head now, where golf clubs give away sets of old golf clubs. Old stock. Like.
So otherwise, they're just going to.
Well, I don't know where they're going to. What
rust
do
in
with
the
them?
shed.
I mean, I look at my garage. Fun enough, I've got old sets of golf clubs. I've just given a set away to a pal of mine's son who's just taken up the game.
Yeah.
So I think there is something to be said for giving the gear away.
Absolutely.
To people who are coming, certainly, in the cities and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of money in golf.
There is a lot of money in golf, and it is expensive. But
Have you got questions?
No, yeah, I have got questions.
Oh, far away, come on.
Right.
I'm going to drink some of this.
Because you drink some of that while
Beautiful
I go
water.
through the questions. We've asked some questions on the old Instagram.
Do that.
About people who want to know burning questions. So we've got some interesting ones here. Which one of you is the best golf player, you or Anton? Well, I'm an 8 handicap at the moment.
Yes, I'm very good at it.
Anton is
Coming
not.
down, I think.
Coming down slowly.
Yes.
But I was a 16 last year, so I've come down significantly.
rapidly.
But you're definitely the better golfer. You're off 1.
I'm off 1, officially.
You're off 1.
Not massively paying to it at the moment, but I'm off 1.
Speaking of 1, could you ever see yourself giving a 1 on Strictly?
No.
I don't think it's in
that's
you,
up the
is
other
it?
fella.
That's at the other
the
end.
other end. You have to go down the sharp end down for that. I'll stay at the nice end. I'll give you a 5 for turning up and not dying. You can make it through the dance. If you make it through the dance without dying, you get a 5. I gave a 4 once. I felt terrible about it.
How did you get into dancing?
I stumbled upon it, really. My sister used to dance. I was about 13 or 14, and I just went along to the dance school that my sister used to go to. To meet her, it was the summer holidays from school, and I went to meet her to walk home with her. She's a couple of years younger than me. Or she used to be. She's much older than me now. And as I walked in, I sort of walked in towards the end of the class. It's a room full of girls, and I thought, gosh. Anyway, I went back the following week to do it again, meet her again, and I got there a bit early, and the teacher went, "Oh, well, you can't sit there. You have to join in." She sort of dragged me up.
Yeah.
And I went, "Oh, no." And anyway, so not because I'm such a people pleaser, I went, "Oh, okay." And then I thought, "Well, I don't mind this. I quite like this." Because do you know what I loved about it? I loved the form of it all. Because the thing about dancing, if you say to somebody, this is why men don't dance traditionally.
Yeah.
So men don't dance traditionally. It's because if you say to a man, step forward on your right foot, he'll go, all right. Step to the side on your left foot, you go, all right. Then close your right foot to your left foot. You go, all right, fine. How's that? And you go, brilliant. That's a waltz. Is it? Yeah, waltz. If you say to a man, dance, they'll go, no, you're mad. I'm going to have to the bar. I'm going to absolutely get annihilated before I take another step.
Yeah.
So it's because, and even I can't stand the word freestyle.
No.
If we're ever doing a group dance on Strictly in the old and the
2 counts of 8 freestyle.
Yeah. All right, dear. How about 2 counts of 8 that you choreographer? Freestyle. I'll freestyle for you, love, but you're not going to like it.
That's the worst thing when you're in a group dance.
Freestyle.
Give us 2 counts of 8.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to stick a sharp implement into my thigh for 8 counts. Because that would be more preferable to me than freestyling.
It's really hit a nerve, that one.
Oh, do me a favour. Choreographer, couldn't think of anything for those 16 counts then. How about you choreograph 16? No, I want you to do something free.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
The other best one is when they go, we've got 4 8s here. So what I want you to do is go round. You just think of 4 8s. You think of 4 8s. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come round and pretend that I created what you
You think of 4 8s, and then I'm going to claim it as my choreography. Yeah. Then I'm going to go, okay, no, don't do it like that. Just point on one.
Yeah.
Good, I'm glad I worked that out for you.
I've got a great question here, and I think this is a good one to finish on. What's your best Brucey story? Can be golf related or dance related or anything related. Because obviously I was a little bit late to Strictly. I remember watching, obviously, Brucey as a kid.
Well, Brucey is the legend that is.
He's a keen golfer as well.
Brilliant golfer. Played golf all his life. Because he was because he worked in theatre and musical theatre and all his life, television as well. He did. When he wasn't on television, he would be touring and doing shows and stuff. He could do it by day, or by night rather, and by day, he wouldn't do anything. And so somebody said to him once, You should get out. Go and play some golf. Never play golf. Anyway, that's where this whole showbiz sort of relationship and golf, the showbiz world and golf have had a relationship for many years. It's a very, very big thing. And I think back to the days of sort of Bing Crosby.
Yes.
He had his tournament. He had the Bing Crosby Classic, which is now the AT&T at Pebble Beach.
Yep.
So it was always at Pebble Beach, but it was always the Bing Crosby. And he got all his pals. Like Dean Martin had a golf tournament. Dinah Shaw had a very famous tournament for many. She was a keen golfer. It became a ladies. It's now the Chevron for the ladies. It was a major. Andy Williams had one. Everybody had. All these guys had these pro-ams.
Yeah.
And big professional tournaments in America. It's not such a big thing over here, but all the showbiz world played. I mean, historically, Tarby, Brucey, Terry Wogan, all these legends of show business world played, and light entertainment, played golf. And I mean, I had a situation where I played in the pro-am one day with at Wentworth at the PGA. I felt a bit sorry for the pro. Didn't speak a lot of English. I had no idea what was going on. The four ball for him was me, Brucey, and Russ Abbott.
What a combo.
I mean, couldn't be more showbiz than that.
Yeah.
And then him, and thousands of people following around watching Brucey play, and he was giving it all that with the crowd and stuff. And it was the longest day of his life. Yeah. But Brucey was so wonderful. I did a show one evening. I'll tell you this story very quickly.
Go on.
None of my stories are just quick.
You're a great storyteller as well. I just do that and listen to your stories half the time.
So I was playing golf with Brucey at Wentworth, and he said, "What are you doing? You got anything coming up?" I said, "I've got this little thing I've got a theatre. This little cabaret room at the Hippodrome in London. That theatre used to be called the Talk of the Town.
Right.
Years ago. Brucey was sort of the king of the Talk of the Town. It's like a variety show, nightclubby sort of place. Anyway, it's turned into a casino now, but upstairs I've got the cabaret room. Oh, it's about 200, about
Small
that.
place.
You can just eat and drink. It's a cabaret room. Got Magic Mike in there at the moment.
Yeah.
Been there for a while now. Anyway, so I'm doing a little show. It's just a, sort of an evening with. I've got a band, doing some songs, some chat. Not much dancing. There's no space. But it's basically that sort of thing. And I've got a couple of guests with me. I've got the wonderful Lance Ellington with me as well. And at the time, Summer Strallen. Beautiful Summer Strallen. So we're doing some songs, some chat, and all that sort of stuff. So it's one of those sort of nights. Great. People eating, all that sort of stuff. So I said to Brucey, I've got this thing coming up at the weekend. Friday night it was. He went, oh. And then I suddenly got, I never mentioned it to him. Perhaps I should have mentioned it to him before and asked him if he'd like to come on and do something. And I said to him, well, listen, it's on Friday. We were playing on the Monday, I think. On Friday, if you I'd love if you fancy coming on and doing a number. Coming on a couple of numbers if you fancy. He went, oh right. I didn't say anything else. And I went, oh no, I've upset him. And we're only on the fourth hole. This is a nightmare. I've got about another 3 hours of this. Oh, he's not talking to me now. I think I've offended him. I think I've offended him because I didn't ask him. Then I asked him as an afterthought, and I've offended him again.
Mine's racing.
Anyway, he's now 3 up, and so I couldn't hit a shot. Anyway, next day, he goes, the Tuesday, rings, the phone goes, it's him. Oh, hello, Brucey, how are you? He said, listen, I've been giving some thought. He said, this thing you're doing on Friday night. He said, tell me to, clear off. He said, if it's already sorted. He said, but I've had an idea. I said, Brucey, I'd love you to, yeah, it'd be great. He said, come over to the house. Bring your MD. Come over to the house. I went, oh, all right. Bring Lance. I said, fine, okay. So on Thursday. So we went on Thursday. And so we all piled in about 7 o'clock. And he said, listen, you can't stay. I've got people round. So we haven't got long. I went, oh. So we gathered round the piano.
Brilliant.
As you do.
Of course.
And he's got his BAFTAs on there. And he goes, so we're there. He said, I've got an idea. He said, we'll do The Lady is a Tramp. And we'll be the 3 fivers, you, me and Lance. So we routine this number with Clive. Anyway, so he also did another thing, Bruce. He did this wonderful tap dance routine on a stool.
Right.
To a number called Cute.
Okay.
I think it was. he says. I might have to check that. Anyway, where he plays and he tap dances whilst on the store, and it's a great number because it's a bit of a game. I said, Bruce, I'd love you to do that number for me. He said, no, I don't. He said, no, come on, do it. Anyway, so I talked him into doing it, and he can join us, and then come on at the end for we were going to do Don't Mean a Thing If It Ain't Got That Swing at the end, and we do that as a round and round. Anyway, but I said to him, listen. I said to him on the night, I said, when do you want to come on? He said, I don't know, I'll just I'll come on when I feel like it. I went, well, you just come on when you're happy. I said, but if it's going terribly, I said, don't come on.
Yeah.
I said, if it's a bit of a nightmare, I said, go. I won't announce you. I won't tell anybody you're coming.
Yeah.
He said, no, don't announce me. So he said, what time are you going to rehearse? I said, well, get there about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, have a run through. I said, but don't get there then. Well, get there first if you want to come. We'll do your numbers and you can go.
Yeah.
So anyway, we get there on the day. He's already there. He's sitting in the thing having a coffee with the bloke who owns it. Of course he is. Having a coffee. I said, Bruce, do you want to do your bit? The guys are just setting up. Do you want to do your bit? He said, no. He said, you carry on. I'm going to have a coffee. I'll have a little listen. And we do the routines and a couple of the sets and stuff. And he goes, you should start with the other. So I do a song in the routine. I do Almost Like Being in Love, which was a song that Brucey used to do as his warm-up song.
Right.
On Strictly before he came out and opened the show. Mm-hmm. And he used to get a woman up from the audience.
Right.
Do the instrumental bit and have a dance with her and put her down, made her night. And so I said, I can't do that first, it's your song. He said, no, I want you to do it, it's a good start. I went, all right, I'll do it. What a day this has been, what a rare mood I'm in.
Yeah.
So we do this number, great. Anyway, I didn't announce him. And we get to the show, we start the show, I've not announced him. He sat. I said, where are you going to sit? He said, I'll just sit in the balcony quietly. I said, when do you want to come on? I said, come on when you like. And if I don't see you, don't worry. He said, all right. So, first half goes. I didn't see him. And I couldn't. And I thought, I'll try and find him TV. And he wasn't around. I thought, oh, he's gone home. We didn't like it. He's gone home. All right, fair enough. Don't worry. So we go on with the second half. I thought it was going quite well. And we go on with the second half, and with da-da-da. And about 2/3 of the way through the second half, suddenly I'm talking. Clive is here, my MD, with the piano, and there's a woman in the front row I've been having a bit of back and forth with during the evening. Blah, blah, blah. And I turned to Clive, let's do something, and suddenly the place went mad. Brucey walked on from the other end. And he's walked on, and I've gone, oh, Brucey. And he goes, I've been watching your show, he said. It's absolutely marvellous. He said, but what you need is a special guest star. And here I am. Oh, brought the house down.
What a legend.
Went mad. And you know, it was so wonderful. And I cherished that moment so dearly because the only people who knew anything about it were the people in the room.
Yeah.
And there was only about 200 people there because it's as much as it could hold.
Yeah.
And it was just lovely.
It was
we
your
did
show,
these numbers and he came and he did the thing and we finished on and it was just gorgeous.
You take that one to
Legend.
Well, I think that's the perfect way to finish the podcast. I mean, we'll give your podcast a plug as well.
Yes, please.
The Putt and Strut podcast with Anton Du Beke and Sarah Sturck. You can catch it where on Spotify,
Global, on Apple, I think it's on it, or anywhere you get your podcasts from.
On your socials, all the links are on your social. We'll put the links down below as well. Thank you again for coming on. If you haven't seen our golf video that we've filmed before this, go and check it out. But Anton Du Beke, what a legend. Thank you so much.
You're a legend. Thank you, my love.
Of course. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and we'll catch you on the next one.